So
Explain a little to me.
basically, the guy is a known serial, and I'm a sensory. Oh, Scott, where you been, Scott? The guy is a serial, okay, and he basically was awaiting his turn on the death penalty, right, on death row. He had his time, and it was through lethal gas injection or something like that. But anyway, what happened is it flopped, and he ended up slowly dying, and he suffered the whole time, and his friends and family had to watch. My first thing is, why do we make that a public spectacle?
I agree.
Like,
That should be a private thing for family. And I don't really even think your family wants to watch you pass away. I don't think that is something that people need to see. I mean, we see enough of that on a daily, watching people just pass out and fall in front of you. So I don't think it's good for the public to see that. And who really gets their rocks off watching somebody pass away? It's not public, it's private, actually, only by invite.
his friends and family though was there and watched it,
And
and
so,
Yeah,
and I don't
because they
think
were
that,
invited.
I don't care if it's by invite or anything. I don't think that nobody should have to see that. And people have already been incarcerated and everything. They've suffered enough. And
But they
for the
don't have to see
family
it. They
have to
chose
watch
to
their
see it.
family member pass away like that, I think it should not be an invitation. I don't think that they should go and see that spectacle. I think that they should let that person pass away in silence without people having to suffer that grief like that. They're already leaving, so they're going to have to grieve. But to mentally have that in your brain, I watched my mother pass away in my arms, and I cry in my sleep from seeing that. That is mental anguish. I don't care what nobody say. I don't care how nobody feel. But until you see one of your loved ones pass away on in your face in stuff, I nope. It's a no for me, chef.
what about you, Nook? You want to weigh in on it? How do you? Hello.
I do have comments, but I don't want to seem insensitive.
No, you good.
My
You good.
thing, okay, so just for a little bit of context, I actually watched my father die. He was shot and he was in the hospital for a month until he finally passed away. So I watched him literally sit there, deteriorate, and pass away. So I have experienced it. But what I will say is, on the other end of that spectrum, for those people who are sentenced to be unalived, I don't think that it's the same weight. Yes, their loved one is passing away, and yes, it is sad to see and watch and all of that. But at the same time, they're not forced to watch that. They can sit at home and allow it to happen. Just like if they have a elderly family member that's in hospice, they don't have to go to the hospice and watch, these activities happen. They can sit back at home and understand that they are happening. So I don't think to me, it doesn't hold the same type of weight.
Okay. No. So me personally. So I mean, from my personal experience, like that's not something I wouldn't want to see. But here's the thing: if it was something that was just slick, like if it just happened, and it was instant. Maybe I'll be a little bit more understanding as far as them letting family in there. But you don't. The thing I have is they never know how these things are going to go, right? And the fact that man slowly died, like I personally don't even agree with the death penalty. I don't agree with it one bit, because who are we? We are not God. We shouldn't take people's life, even though they done something fucked up. Okay, I get it. They took people's lives. I get it, and they need to suffer, but nothing you do will bring them people back. So by taking another life, I just never had agree with that, and that's
I'm not gonna say I completely disagree. I don't think they should wait 30 years. No.
Right.
I believe if you are sentenced to be unalived, it should be within the next week. I don't believe that you should be able to live still a full life behind bars and then, have it taken away abruptly. No, I don't agree with that. I can understand in some instances where that penalty can be passed, but I don't like the method that they administer it. I'll put it that way.
Okay, because I know they have switched. They used to do the electric chair a while back, but of course, you know, they had some hiccups with that. You know, some people they had to hit it a couple times for them to go. Some people just didn't go. So I know for a fact that if they give you the lethal injection or whatever it is, and it doesn't take you out the first time, you're supposed to be free at that point. It's supposed to be free.
Now that I agree with. If you don't pass away from the system, then they should, you know, they tried, and they should let you out. I do agree with that. If you don't pass away, they should let you out. I agree, especially if you've already served 30 years. You served 30 years, and then it doesn't take. Yeah, you did it. You served your time. You have paid your debt to society, in my opinion.
Yep, I agree with that 100%. Y'all make sure y'all tap that screen. Run them likes up. Are we doing good today? How you doing? Tap that screen. Y'all run them likes up. We have an open panel today. The topic is pretty much about the death penalty and stuff, but you know, we can branch off and go to different things. I just wanted to get the conversation started with that because I seen something that it bothered me. Like, so I just want to talk about it and get y'all's opinion. What's up, Winebox?
Can I do a commercial break, Chef?
Yeah, go ahead.
Can I do a commercial break?
Yeah, go ahead.
Hey everybody, welcome to Chef Leftovers Live. We are going to gift the panel and gift the host and tap. Chef has a 20K live goal. We want to power tap the screen and respect everyone in this space.
Watering in the oil.
And if you get muted, it's because you had some disrespect going on. We want everybody to be respectful to everyone in this space. This is a general conversation. If you would like to talk about it, please let the chef know. Have a good day.
Chef ready to cook today.
Well, so you know what? I just come from the store and I'm actually going to make some hamburger helper from scratch. So I got all the stuff I need.
Helper?
Yeah, well, turkey helper. So I got ground turkey because I'm trying to be a little more leaner in my life. I got the stuff to make it from scratch. So, you know, that's what I'm going to do today. I might make a video. I'm gonna use the skillet that they sent me for free, so I might as well make a video with it, and, you know. So, but how you been, Winebox? What's going on?
Yo, I'm been good. How are you guys?
Good. Hey, French, is it Fista, Montana, or Fista, Alfana?
Hello.
Do you guys want to weigh in on the topic? So the topic basically the death penalty. There was a guy who received it and it didn't take all the way, and it was took, but it was slow and painful. And his, of course, the friends and family was there. Do you guys agree with that? Like, as far as
like 6 times?
Huh?
They tried it like 6 times or something like that, right?
Oh, I didn't read the article in fully because I started to get like emotional. And I just read the first half, and I just thought about the friends and the family that sat there that had to endure the suffering, even though they knew he was going. But it's just the fact that it wasn't instant for me. If it's instant for me, I could go along a little bit better. But
what did he do? Do you know?
He was
I don't like the narrative that you keep saying have to. They did not have to. They chose to.
Yeah, right. They chose to. But Nook, like, if they would have known what was going to happen, so I can't say whether they would have stayed there or they would have appeared or not, but I highly doubt if they know that he was going to suffer, they probably wouldn't have watched it. But my apologies for saying have to, because you're right. You don't have to see it.
I agree.
But thank you, Boo, for correcting me. See, I love when people correct me. I do. I'm for real, because sometimes I be up here talking and running my mouth. So I appreciate it.
Sometimes. I'm just kidding.
No, but it wasn't even a point of correction. I just words matter and they are important.
Yes, you're right. You're absolutely right.
But no, do you know what he did?
I know he was a serial killer.
Oh, he was. Okay.
Yeah.
Because
I just kind
sorry.
of browsed through the story. I don't know the full story. No.
Yeah, me neither. I did the same thing. I browsed through it too. I just browsed through it. Do you know Winebox?
No, I think I heard about it, or if it's the same one I'm thinking of. They
guy right
tried
here?
like 4 or 5 times to kill him.
Oh, no.
I think he must have done something really bad, and I think that was done on purpose. Because there's
so you think it was botched?
I think so, because there's no way. Because I think, does it say on there how many times? Because I think it was like 4 or 5 times they tried.
So it was a nitrogen.
With you, Winebox. I agree. I believe it was botched on purpose.
There's no way. Which makes you think, what did he do?
Oh my gosh.
Whose family did he hurt? They're still upset. They got power or money.
Mm-hmm.
Or for any reason, if it could have been,
To say that, yep. Or for the fact that person held that other person's life in their hand, and they wanted to make him suffer, kind of like whatever the people that whatever he did to them, make him suffer just as much as them. And they held that power in their hand, which people sometimes hold power dear, and they utilize it. And I think whoever did that to him utilize it, because when you euthanize anything, it's gone within seconds.
Sling so says it happens a lot.
I thought they did the gas though.
No, it is the gas. It's the nitrogen.
I was really just about to say that exactly what he just said, because being a nurse in facilities like that is not uncommon. It is really not uncommon, and I'm surprised that it's making the news more now. Doesn't make it right, but it's not uncommon.
Yeah.
Even when they try to change it from the electric chair to this, the reason why they were doing that is because of all the mistakes that was made during that time. Look, and I do agree with you, because it's kind of like Chef giving somebody life, right? Because when they give them those, when they go to that type of penalty, these guys stay in there 50 years later sometimes, or after 30 years later sometimes. And it's kind of like, why would you give them that type of penalty but allow them, you know what I'm saying, to stay into jail that long? So they really should get rid of it if they're going to be extensive like that. You feel what I'm saying? It's better for you to just say, give me life. Because to me, that is the torture. To me, unalive is more of a
Mercy.
Yes, it's people tell us all the time, y'all, that that's what they want to do. They want to go to heaven. They want to go. And to me, that's more of the easier way out, especially after reading some of these rap sheets.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
I think it's unfair that they get to stay in there that long. But unfortunately, this type of shit right here happens all the time.
But you know what, too? I also think it's a suffering for them too, because they don't know when you're gonna pull them out that cell and say, "Hey, this is your last day." You know what I mean? And so to string somebody along for 5, 10, sometimes 20 years, there are people who have died in penitentiary who have not gotten the chair or the death penalty yet, who were supposed to get it. So, I just never understood why it takes so long.
But guess what, Jeff? They know when they're. It's like knowing when you about to. I think that's the cringe of it. Knowing when your last day is, right? They actually know when their last day is, Chef.
Yeah, they do. They tell them.
They give them like a countdown. So imagine you having a visual of your countdown each day.
So it's making you suffer.
Like you said, unfortunately, some of them don't make it that long. They pass before then.
Yep, they tell them. They let them know that their date is going to be.
Wow. Hey, Dee Dee. Hey, Kayla.
I think it's like you said, it's the easy way out. It's mercy. Especially if the crime was so bad, I think it's a lot more punishable for them to live the rest of their life locked up. Because if you get life in jail, most of them want a way out. That's why there's a lot of suicides inside the jail system. But giving them that escape, is kind of giving them what they want.
Mm-hmm. Like they'll play on the us and say that one person didn't give them their meds, and they'll try to pocket meds, guys. It's real deep. But Chev, I used to feel like that they should get rid of it. I used to feel just like you until you would see some of these gruesome rap sheets, and now I know why. I'm like, look, why not today?
Right.
Why not today? Why we gotta wait this long for them? And guess what though, Chev, you'll think that they're remorseful. They do just as much of gruesome things in there.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because at that point, it's like, well, what do you have to lose? They're gonna off you anyway.
Yeah, but come on now. You ain't got to go in there doing that extra stuff. Then you already know that you about to be on your way up to the upper room or the downer room, wherever.
Yeah, but if I'm about to be able to go to the upper room and I know the date and time, I will cause havoc, wreak havoc, and then pray about it before my time.
I'll be trying to repent.
You know what I'm saying?
I get that.
I'll be trying to repent. I ain't gonna lie.
My way out. I get that.
I'll be trying to repent, y'all.
The next day.
I guess that's why I live how I live. I ain't trying to do no dumb shit at all. So I don't want to have to do none of that and go nowhere doing no shit at no time. I'm repenting as soon as I kick one of my kids behind. So with that being said, I don't want to go through that. I don't. That's like living in hell in your own head. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, I'm straight on that.
Kayla, are you busy? Because I know you said you wrote a whole senior paper. Can you elaborate on what was your topic as far as, I mean, what a topic was, but like, what'd you write about? Like, if you're not busy, I think she's busy.
I kind of got into like little bits and pieces of it. You guys were talking about like the unaliving penalty, right?
Right.
Okay. And then can you, like, what was the initial question, just to kind of like...
So basically, this guy, it didn't work the way it was supposed to work, or somebody finagled, whatever the case may be, but he suffered the entire time with friends
multiple times.
So like Green Mile, right? Kind of like Green Mile.
What's Green? The movie Green Mile?
Yeah, like how it didn't work at first because he was so big, and he was like suffering longer. Okay. Yeah. So when I was younger in high school, I did a senior project because they told us to pick like an intense topic of, that's very controversial and debatable. Well, mine was about that topic.
Thank you, boo. Thank you.
So for me, I didn't necessarily agree with it, but at the same time, I understood the principle and concept of it.
Okay.
I feel like part of me is kind of has always had kind of a thing. It's like, why are we gonna sentence somebody to something? Thank you. And do the act, but we're getting on them for doing it. Why not let them sit there and dwell in their own issues? Yes, they may have done something, that particular thing. Hold on.
No, you're good.
We're still closed. 20 minutes.
Have a good one. Sling's toe. Is it Sling's toe or Sling's toe?
That's yours. I don't want it.
I just wanted to come up and say I hope y'all have a great afternoon.
Thank you. You too.
Yeah, y'all have a great day. Enjoy it. We're all given a day, an extra day. We woke up this morning. Everybody enjoy it.
Okay. Period.
I love that.
All right, love y'all. Y'all have a great day.
Bye. Thank you.
You too. Thank you. Love you too.
So what was I saying before I got so rudely interrupted?
You were saying that they basically should have to sit there and dwell.
Yeah.
Because who are we to do? Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, because why? So yes, they took an act upon themselves to act like they were God, because that's how they got in that situation. But at the same time, it's like we also are not that figure. We're not that God. So like, why are we making the same decision? Like, even if it's a council of people, it can be a prejudice decision. I think there was a case a long time ago back in, I think it was like Texas or something like that, where a 12-year-old boy was accused of unaliving somebody. And his trial was 12 minutes just because of the color of his skin. And then they executed him in less than 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
What was his name again? I know who you're talking about.
I can't remember his name, but like if I
Kyle,
pull up,
right?
it's just
Okay, Nook.
it took the whole his whole trial. That's jury, defense, everything was like what 30 minutes.
You know that's crazy because I sat on a jury panel about 10 years ago, and we were in the deliberation room for about 8.5 hours, and we were watching the case for a week, and it was child abuse. So well, it was anyway, but for the death penalty and something of that nature, 30 minutes, that's not enough time.
Yeah, no, and it, like I said, this was back in the day, so of course the jury was a all light jury. Okay, so for them, they were like, nope, he did it. He was 12 years old. He couldn't
That's what it was. Yep.
even read.
See, I don't think that should be something on the table for anybody under 18, period.
But no,
I
that's
don't.
the harsh reality of it. Is it doesn't matter. We have the case like what is it? The Central 5. Okay, it wasn't the penalty, but they did end up spending how many years in prison for a thing that they never committed?
Mm-hmm. And that's time.
George Stinney, that's what it was.
Charged her. They would have accused them and gave him the penalty if she would have been unalived. But luckily, she survived the attack. But
They
that
made
would 5 innocent men that they would have unalived if she would have passed away, just because of the time frame. And so you have to look at it when you're looking at these cases. A lot of them are coming from older times. You know, because a lot of states, they're like, oh, we're not doing that anymore. And then they're gradually starting to come back. Like the last one that was done by fire was, I want to say like 20 years ago in Utah.
What? By fire?
Not like fire, but like pew pew.
Firing line.
Oh.
Yeah,
The
that.
little boy was George Stinney. They made a movie about him.
That, and then
I gotta go watch that.
it's like,
That's crazy.
We this to people that's so inhumane, but yet you're wanting to still promote this, and that's why people are going towards injection now and through like gases. And then like even in the Boise State, so when I was a kid, I got taken, and that's kind of why I feel this way about this. I got taken to a tour of the old Boise State pen. Well, when we were going through the tour, they ended up taking us to the room where they would, around the neck. And it would get so cold there because what they would do is they would put a wet bag over their head. And then they would
Wait a minute.
Drop it.
They showed you where they was hanging people?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Wine, but I remember that.
George
Yeah.
Stinney, yep.
And I never knew that.
Yeah, and so
It
they
was
would
under 12.
and what had happened was when we went there, they said, yes, at this location, it really was sad because some of the inmates, when they would end up going to that stage and we would have to unalive them, it would get so cold being up in Idaho that they would freeze, and sometimes they wouldn't even be unalived immediately because the bag would freeze. And
Wow.
they would literally have to defrost, and then it would be able to break through, and then they would be officially declared unalive.
Wow.
And like this is stuff that's why I kind of feel this way about certain things, because like my family would take us to certain places. Like I've been to Alcatraz, I've done the tour of Alcatraz, I've done the tour of other retired institutions. And they would tell us all of these stories about all the things that they would do. And I just never agreed with it because it's like, why are you calling somebody else a monster, but yet you're doing the same exact things and you're letting them suffer this, if not worse.
Yep. Yep.
Like, for what reason?
Do y'all okay? So when I was younger, we got taught about pen pals, right, in school. Now reference that to my adulthood. I thought about just becoming a pen pal and just writing to like inmates, just write. You know what I'm saying? Because look, don't get me wrong, y'all. Listen, I ain't gonna write no murder. Okay, I ain't crazy. Okay. But you gotta think about that time you're in there, and some people don't even have that. Like, and who are we to say just because a person is locked up doesn't deserve to have somebody on the outside who they can talk to, who can express themselves to? Because people inside are crazy. Let's just call it. People inside are doing just as bad.
I would just be careful and don't give out like your real name.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No. Hell no. No. My name will be Malik.
Do it. So
That's a nice one. That's a nice one.
I understand where you're coming from because, like, for my daughter's dad, his brother is currently facing 40 years to life.
40. You know what? I don't care what nobody say. 40 years.
He was sentenced to 40. No chance of parole, no chance of probation, no early release, nothing.
Wow.
Whoever's got background, and wait, whoever has background, can y'all mute because it's affecting her sound? Go ahead.
But he deserved it. And then even his little brother, my daughter's dad's little brother, is also in prison for unaliving his cousin. So one's in prison for unaliving his cousin. The older one is in prison for attempting to put somebody in the ground alive.
Wait, buried?
Oh, he was nutty.
Wait,
Oh,
buried
so the
alive?
whole family has some issues going on, like.
But look, a lot of them. So they grew up, obviously, in lesser circumstances than most. So they were forced to a life to where they were always put in that institutionalized mindset. So when they ended up getting out, each of them have their own kind of, I want to say, their own kind of issue to where they can't understand how the world outside works. Because once you get put in, behind bars, or you get put into these situations, you start becoming institutionalized. You start becoming to where it's this way to survive, and that's it. Like, I have to survive. And so sometimes they don't know how to respond to things from other people who have been on the outside world.
So,
Wait, so I just wanted to revisit what you just said. Buried alive? Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's my greatest fear.
Yeah,
oh, me too.
Beat
That
her.
is literally my greatest fear.
Cheating with, because he ended up going to get food for her, and then he came back. He was only out for like 2 days, and he found the girl that he was talking to and like in a relationship with for like a really long time with another man, and so yeah, he did that. But let's just say somebody had their phone on them, so they were able to trace the GPS.
That's good. Well, so okay, so when we talk about institutionalized, so here's the thing, I have mixed feelings about that, because I do feel like sometimes we use that as a crutch for certain people, but I also do believe in being institutionalized. I do, because my dad spent 17 years in the penitentiary. My dad, he's out, he's free, he's been free for the last 8 years, never went back this time. But like his mindset, the way he talks, the way he carries himself, the way he interacts with other people, you can hear the prison. It's like he even talks to me like I'm a cellmate. I'm like, Dad, well, okay, we not in prison. That's what we're not gonna do. But I think that to an extent, because they still know the difference between right and wrong, and they have morals and ethics.
Did he grow up in the system though? Did he grow up institutionalized?
So,
because that's a huge difference.
My dad grew up basically. He's the oldest of 7 brothers and sisters, and they grew up in the struggle. But he was in and out of the pen since he was young. He was in and out, and then after he had us, he did some things, and he went in for 8 years and came back out, and then went back in. and now he's out. But for a while, I thought he was institutionalized because he would get out for like a month and be right back. But those
people, it's safe haven. It really is, because that's all they know. You know, and then the way that they look at it, it's 3 hot or 2 hot's a cold meal to hot.
I mean,